There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart, that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Trust in you.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get. Good night, kiddo.
meditation, which of course can be also called mindfulness. One of the big misconceptions about meditation is about the thoughts that come up when we meditate. And what does that mean? You know, people try to meditate as if they're trying to switch their...
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, we're live. That's great.
How's it going, man?
Good. Doing good. Another episode of Fear and Loathing in the Windy City. As close to 2 as we've ever gotten it. It's our last.
My name is Fear and Loathing, and his name
I'm
is...
in the Windy City. And thanks so much for being on our show.
Hey, what's up, Mona? Good to see you.
Hey, Mona. How's it going? Thanks for joining us. I know that the HLM show is premiering right now. It's a great episode with Kira and Daniel and Kit.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys are checking that out, that's perfectly cool. Thanks so much, Mona, for being in the chat, moderating the chat for us. This is our last episode on Thursday. It's the last
on Tuesdays.
one.
It's like the last episode in the middle of the week.
Right.
Right? Like
It's
every
the last
other
one
episode.
for a minute.
Yeah. Every other episode starting, not this Sunday, but next Sunday, will be...
Yeah, sorry, Heller.
Heller, I tell you what, we stepped on the replay of last night's stream, but this is the second time consecutively that we've made it here at the time that we said we were going to start the show.
Yeah.
So
there's that.
So I'm all right with that. Mona says, I hate that Jose has to work. Yeah, man, why you gotta go?
I do as well. We were just talking. We said we were going to take a little minute to talk about life. But money's tight.
Mm-hmm.
Money has sucked. I had many opportunities to make decent money this year. I blew them away to dedicate time to this because this helped me.
Yeah.
In ways that what I was going to be doing for money would not. But I needed that money.
Right.
But I'm okay, and I go back to work next week. So that was my safety. So that you're gonna see a little less of me here, but I'll be here.
But you'll be here
with my own funds to contribute to your lunch. You're gonna have quite a weekend, right?
Yeah, I'm anxious, but also excited, and also I'm going home to Arkansas for the weekend.
Your Kansas.
It's not your Kansas. It's Arkansas.
I saw that Hurricane Laura is gonna pass right through Arkansas.
It sure is.
While you might be in the air, that you I mean.
Oh yeah.
You say that happens. You're like in Hurricane Alley.
Yeah, it happens like all the time. It's literally.
Alley?
I called my uncle yesterday, and I was just like, "Hey, I've just been keeping track of the storm." He's like, "Yeah, I'm keeping track of the storm too. Don't worry, it'll be good.
Okay.
It'll just be like pouring rain whenever you get here, maybe." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
All right.
That's like we talked about it before with like tornadoes and all that. Whenever that derecho happened here or whatever, like I don't care all that much about storms. I don't really care. I have walked in the rain a lot actually in Chicago recently, and I don't mind it at all. I got some books wet though in my backpack, which I actually need to apologize to you for, because one of those books is your books. It's a little bit wet.
Oh no.
So I just want to take the time to publicly apologize.
Well, a worn book's a love book.
Yeah.
That's what they're here to be.
But yeah, I'm going
was it a good
home to
book? What did I lend
Arkansas.
you?
Gonna go look at a deck. Gonna go eat some home food, some family home cooked food for
Nice.
a weekend. Something I haven't really't in like years. So I'm excited.
Excite. Good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, self-care is revolution. It's movement work. We need to be.
It's the most important. I think it's really honestly like the most important part of
Very
revolutionary
overlooked.
work. Is
Yeah.
because how else are you gonna? How can you continually sustain yourself? If you can't take that moment to give yourself what you need.
Right. Yeah. Got to center yourself. Got to get back in touch about what it's all for.
Yeah.
Man.
What about you? What are you doing this weekend while I'm gonna be gone? Hurricane?
So we'll talk about it later. But some Chicago Board of Ed guy has gotten himself in trouble with a company that one of my good childhood friends is somewhere in the employment chart of. So I'm a little worried about him and his wife and newborn. So I'll probably pay him a visit. And I'm not going to sit at home and drink wine and feel sad. I'm going to go for a walk and smoke a joint. I can't do that, actually. That's illegal. Don't do that. So I'm going to smoke at home and
These
then
are
go for a
recreational.
walk.
You
That's
can
what
you
I'm
can do it in a wait. Is it you can't do it?
I feel Daniel right now being like YouTube monetize blah 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 marijuana.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're right. We can just talk about that.
Yeah. So okay. So right.
So Miguel H, hey, what's up, Miguel? How you doing, man? Yeah, we have 2 concurrent HLM shows, a premiere and a live stream. Yeah, that certainly is what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Sorry about it, but also, you know, you can come back and watch us later if you want to finish the other show. It was a really good show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of why we're meandering here. It's the last show for a minute.
Yeah.
You're gonna see less of me here. Just kind of doing a little farewell. We should finish the other episode of the other show if you actually want to be a little informed.
I'm trying to think of other just like random like things that are happening to like the channel in general. I'm starting not this weekend because I'll be gone, but next weekend. Look forward to some Twitch interaction. We're going to be starting up the Twitch channel that we've been working on.
Nice.
Mona, I'm going to have to get with you actually to figure out how to get Jackbox Games going because that's kind of the plan. I'll give you more information about that later. But with that being said, I don't think there's anything else we need to talk about in the opening.
In the intro.
Yeah,
stuff?
in the intro, I think we're done with.
Yeah, yeah. A little less of me at the channel, but still good stuff at Heartland. So if you're a Chicagoan that watches this and has passion in your heart and wants to put a show on, check out 99 Perspective Studio. Reach out to Kid and Daniel.
If you got stuff to say,
that's all I did to like
yeah, if
be
you got
sitting here
stuff
right
to
now.
say about Chicago,
I'm
just
almost
come
out of
do
stuff
it.
to say. That's the other thing. So like,
I don't know. I never usually have anything like super notable to say. You know, like I don't really have a lot of strong opinions about a lot of things. I don't know. I'm just because I'm still learning, especially when it comes to Chicago, right? Like I'm a large, and here I'm just gonna like be really happy. I'm just gonna be really complimentary to you right now. Is like I have learned a whole. I've kind of gotten like a crash course in like the Chicago political scene. In the past 3-4 months that we've been doing this.
Yeah.
5 months, 6 months.
Jeez, yeah.
I'm not really sure how long we've been doing this show.
I don't really know either, actually.
I also don't really know, like, it doesn't feel like August.
It doesn't feel like August. I mentioned before, I'm really apologize that the show isn't better. I was almost not even going to be doing the show, but Gunner's like, hey, what? So, like, show? Is this fun? And I was like, well, someone wants
I just wanted, like, to be able to
keep
one,
going,
I enjoy hearing your takes on things, and you have a lot of, like, just common knowledge about the city from growing up here, and you know,
I hope it was helpful while I was here, but yeah, I'll still be around. I'm hoping to be around consistently, just not as much.
CH335H34D, that's a name. Hey crew, I loved Hardlands Media. Please let me know how I can find old videos or continue watching. So
the old channel has a lot of good stuff.
The old channel still is up and has all of the older content from Hardlands Media, but also there is HLM, which I will drop a link to.
Right.
YouTube.com/HLMV2.
And again,
Cheesehead.
If you have your own idea for a show, if you want to sit here in front of an hour on YouTube, 99 Perspective Studio is amazing. We want more Chicagoan voices giving their perspectives on all that's happening in the world.
I can't read number thing. I'm not like one of them good millennials.
You're not one of them good
who
number
can,
readers?
I'm not one of them good millennials who can
Cheesehead.
read. I can't read things like that. I'm just
You're taking Mona's job. Shout out Wisconsin, and that might be a good segue, actually.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's enough of plugging. I think I don't think we need to plug anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Catch us back on September 6th. Though that's
It's a
Mom's
Sunday.
birthday, actually. So I'll be a quick episode, probably streamed in. Be back on Chicago Corner for Fear and Loathing. But we'll be taking a quick hiatus during the middle of the week, and we'll be coming to you on Sundays from here on out. But lots going on in Chicago adjacent stories. Obviously, everyone's talking about Kenosha, but
Right.
we kind of covered that on Tuesday. This kind of I wanted to lead with this breaking story that just came out a few hours ago. A top CPS official has been charged with lying to the FBI.
Ooh, bad
so
boys.
no real Nothing else has, they're not saying that he took money or this or that, but he was not being full threat with the FBI enough for them to charge him. A high-ranking Chicago public school official has been charged in federal court with lying to FBI investigators about giving non-public information to a lobbyist on behalf of a bidder seeking $1 billion custodial service contract with the school district. My poor buddy. Hopefully his job's okay, despite the top boss getting huge trouble. Federal records show Pedro Soto has been charged with single count of lying to the FBI during an interview last December about the 2016 solicitation process for the $1 billion contract. Soto has served as CPS CEO Janice Jackson's chief of staff since 2018. But in a letter to staff, Jackson said she learned of the allegations last Friday and immediately accepted Soto's resignation, adding that his case has been turned over to the CPS Inspector General for further investigation. Mr. Soto's alleged conduct represents a stunning betrayal of trust and an immense failure of judgment and character, Jackson wrote in the letter. There is no place in our school district for anyone who would engage in these activities, and we are moving forward without him. Harsh, but bear in mind and reminder that the previous CPS CEO, Janice Jackson, oh my God. Well, she's in jail. She's in jail for something very similar. So the previous CPS president is in jail. Janice Jackson's getting rid of Soto here. At a time, Soto was working on an evaluation team determining who would eventually get the bid. The FBI interviewed Soto about these dealings in December. Specifically, if he had discussed private CPS conversations about the bid with the lobbyists. They're focusing on one lobbyist. Soto allegedly said the person was trying to get information out of him, but added, "I don't think I gave him anything." While Soto worked under Jackson, the custodial contract and alleged passing non-public information occurred under her predecessor, Forrest Claypool, who resigned in 2017. In her letter, Jackson said, man, they don't mention Barbara Byrd Bennett? All right. Way to go. Window to the world.
This is just a really interesting story.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for one, the guy is charged with one singular count of lying, which is, that's the thing that really stood out to me. This guy is being charged with a single count of lying to the FBI. Right. Like, it's not usually, whenever you see sort of blowout stories like this, right? It's usually like one person, right, is charged with lying or lying to this person or doing this, like multiple counts of something. But this is just, this guy was supposedly passing information to a guy and then lied about it once.
Right. And now the FBI has dinged him on it. Now, I want to remind people, the FBI is not your friend. Sorry, FBI agents, but you're not exactly doing anything for those kids that are protesting. You don't really care about the Black Lives Matter movement. You've done nothing to help American democracy. And it's kind of your fault that Donald Trump's president and you guys were really happy about it. So eat shit. But,
hey.
Yeah, sorry. Monetize. Money. Capitalism.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
But I mean, like, look, FBI, you guys are in charge. You know, you guys have guns. We're at your mercy. You guys suck. But you got this guy, and you're doing all this, and that's great. Clean up Chicago. Oh my God.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Who was dropping dollar bills? Mona.
Thank you so much, Mona, for the $10. Jose, if I was a millionaire or billionaire, I would give you enough money so you could just keep doing this.
That is incredibly kind.
That's like the nicest thing anyone could ever say.
Most certainly do the same. If I was in that position, I'd give everyone money.
If I was a billionaire, I would invest in hummus.
That's dope. Chickpeas, resilient.
Yeah, that's it.
Right there, solved it.
That's it. I just
solved it.
That's just kind of like my only. I don't have any other good points.
Oh man.
The FBI.
To this
sucks.
point, the guy said to basically told the FBI, they're like, "Hey, did you tell this guy this?" And he's like, "Nah, I didn't." And they're like, "All right, you're lying." So basically, the FBI's case is totally contingent on what that lobbyist has told them.
What he got out of.
Right, and that lobbyist has basically said, "No, I got that piece of information from that dude." And
I wanna make sure.
The FBI's like, yeah, you said that you didn't, but our case depends on that
Soto
being
provided non-public information to a lobbyist representing one of the bidders in the custodial services. Oh, okay. And then whenever he was asked, he was like, "Oh, I don't think I gave him anything."
and then they
which-
come back, it's like, no, you did.
You definitely
did.
gave him something.
Yeah, you had a
and-
chance
yeah.
to tell us and come straight about it, and then you got all weird about it. So now we're, bang.
Good.
Yeah. So that's going on in Chicago. And again, like, I don't know if this is the FBI cleaning up CPS, this is FBI cleaning up the city.
It just doesn't.
It seems like the FBI, which is kind of a Republican-led organization that Obama just like kissed up to. Yeah, it's going to come back to Michael Madigan, which is where we should end our last Thursday episode. But let's go to the,
that's definitely what
yeah.
I'm curious about, right? Is that there's Ed Burke already had his time, right?
No,
Where-
Israel Hummus, yeah.
Or he's still running things, but like he's already kind of
Ooh, he's his castle's under siege
right. And
by
then,
the people that Democrats are like, oh yeah.
And then Michael
Totally.
Madigan is
Tax
get out
dollars
of
that work
here.
out there.
The Michael Madigan is facing legal repercussions that could sort of unlock the secrets of how he's maintained and built so much power over the past really long time, since what,
Right.
1983?
God, yeah.
Something like that?
God, well, longer than that, but long time. But let's
Yeah.
talk a little bit about Kenosha. We can't not talk about Kenosha. And actually, I forgot to send you.
I was
a
gonna say
tweet.
the next thing I have is about K Street.
Oh, not K Street yet. Let's. In the Twitterverse, there's a good video of the Kenosha police chief. His statement from 2018. Oh yeah, here it is. Let me send it to you. So
Grazie.
this is America, the good old U.S. of A.
What is it? This is America. Every time someone says "This is America," I can't help but just think about Childish Gambino and
Yeah.
don't catch you slipping up, because like that's
It's
it.
Slipping. That's good. It's good.
Okay. Tweet. So this is the sheriff of Kenosha County in 2018.
Yeah, talking about shoplifters.
Talking about shoplifters. Cool. Great. Love that.
Yeah.
To come to a threshold where there's some people that aren't worth saving. We need to build warehouses to put these
And they
people
heard-
into it and lock them away for the rest of their lives. Let's put them in jail. Let's stop them from truly, at least some of these males going out and getting 10 other women pregnant and having small children.
Mother-
Let's put them away. At some point, we have to stop being politically correct. And I don't care what race, I don't care how old they are. If there's a threshold that
White
they
sheriffs from
cross,
Wisconsin are garbage.
these people have
Sorry,
to be
don't wanna be
warehoused.
politically correct.
No recreational time in the jails. We put them away. We put them away for the rest of their lives so that the rest of us can be better. And society has to come to a threshold where there's some people that aren't worth saving. We need to build
Some
warehouses
people are not worth
to put these
saving.
people
Thanks,
into
Ron
it and
Emanuel.
lock them
Your
away.
boy Obama.
Cool.
Now your boy Biden's on his way.
I wanted to make sure I got the full understanding of what he was trying to say. So he was just being racist.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
these
mean,
people
'cause
don't matter with, like
if they're
there's-
looting, obviously they get 10 people pregnant, and that's terrible for our system. Shoot them all.
Right. Anthony Ray says he sounds like Joe Biden. Yeah, in a lot of ways he does sound like Joe, but just shoot him in the leg.
Yeah.
Some people aren't deserving of just being shot in the leg, according probably to Joe Biden and like the rest of
Yeah.
the system anyways. But I mean,
Which goes back, like Wisconsin, like you guys are going through like a real big thing, and I know you cheeseheads, like you're not terrible people, but like it was a good union state, and you blame neoliberals and third ways for breaking it. All right, I get it. But even if it always voted Democrat, that's always been your sheriff's department,
and that's and like I just
and
want to
like going
read-
Republican to prove that you're not ashamed of this isn't any different than the history that you guys have had with the Democratic Party. But
I want to just like have this is like the statement, right? Like I just want to read it. Like, let's put them in jail. Let's stop them from going out and getting 10 other women pregnant and having small children. Let's put them away. We have to get to the point where we will no longer put up with the garbage people that fill our communities. They're a cancer to our society. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I agree with you, Sheriff. It is about time that we get rid of the garbage people in our communities. But do you know, I think that where we disagree is that I believe that those garbage people that you call them, like, have a whole lot of other circumstances that cause them to make garbage decisions. I don't think those people are garbage. I think that people make plenty of garbage decisions in light of stressful events, not being able to pay rent. Your family, right, is always being accosted by police that come and just bully everyone on your streets, right? Like, there's so many other problems that aren't what police say the problems are, right? And police are just really good at exacerbating those problems. That's what annoys me.
Police only know how to kill and beat people into order. That's what they're trained to do. That's what their mentality is trained to do. That's what the conservative culture is built off of and is enabled and normalized across every facet of law enforcement, including their punitive criminal justice system. So whether you're wearing a badge or you're wearing a tie, you are basically normalizing systemic violence. And police are just the billy club of it. And there he goes. He's basically saying who that violence is supposed to be directed to.
Yeah. Which is apparently the garbage people who get who get 10 other women pregnant and have small children.
He had some stuff to say now about the shooter that shot 3 people and killed 2 people.
That's like
I didn't really get into this hobby to trash teenagers, but I do.
All right. Mona donated $5.
Wow,
he literally
thanks,
sounds
Mona.
like Biden pushing the 94 crime bill and also
True.
sounds very
Nazi-ish, lock them up in warehouses. Yeah. I mean, like, it is very 94 crime bill. It is very, like, the prison industrial complex that Biden defended and helped architect.
Law and order, baby.
And that Kamala Harris helped enforce.
I love a good law and order candidate. That's what everyone says.
You see, and that's the key. A good law and order candidate, which, like, Biden's basically running that I'm, like, good at law and order.
Yeah.
And Trump is like, but I'm the kind of law and order that you like, baby.
Trump is like, I am the law and order. And
I'm not
Biden
as good at it, but you're gonna.
But I am. And you're gonna love it.
Knock him out of here.
It's gonna be
send him
so
home in a
good.
stretcher, kind of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cartoonish Hitler. Which, I don't know, is terrifying a little bit to be normalized in the world. But I feel like if he was president again, like, someone would do something about that. Some rich person, like, not me, but, like, the DuPont family would be like, oh, no, not my colony.
I was really amazed that he even actually made it as far as he had. Like, I can't believe he's made it all the way to
some crazy
2020.
blackmail,
Right? What does he have on people? Anyways.
Everything. And what are the Democrats giving up in order to move ahead? Basically, their old corrupt system embodied in Michael Madigan, and then they all can move and be Republicans together. That's what I see coming, and it's disgusting. You're disgusting, Democrats. You're going to hell. No one should feel sorry for you. All right.
Heller42 says the Soylent Sheriff, and I just really like that.
The Soylent Sheriff. That's Kenosha. All right, we do need to talk about. I don't even know his name. I don't want to give him too much, but like. All right, so now this is the same sheriff talking about the 2 murders that happened in his town that he cares so much about. And yes, I do.
Okay.
We should do this before the show.
We should have done
this. We were here together for like 45 minutes. We had a lot of time.
Yeah, we were doing what I was working out, like PayPal stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I was.
Here is the same man 2 years later.
2 years later, he's a changed man.
Yeah. Obviously, he's reformed. He's probably learned a lot from serving the streets of Kenosha.
Right.
Honorably and with. Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's go. Let's see where he's at.
Everybody involved was out after the curfew. I'm not going to make a great deal of that, but the point is the curfew's in place to protect. Had persons not been out involved in violation of that, perhaps the situation that unfolded would not have happened.
Oh.
Wow.
So the last night, a 17-year-old individual from Antioch, Illinois, was involved in the use of firearms to resolve whatever conflict was in place. The result of it
17-year-old resolved it.
was 2 people are dead. Everybody involved
Whose fault
was
is
out
that?
after the curfew. I'm not going to make a great deal
Oh,
of it,
there
but
it
the
is.
point
There it is. It's their fault they were out after curfew. Hey,
So,
cops,
I'm
if
not
you're if
gonna
they're so
make-
like if then, maybe it's your fault that everyone thinks that all cops are bastards and
That's
they're
like the that's
garbage
the-
humans.
Oh man, that is
You
like
know?
the worst. Is like I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it, but everyone was out past curfew, and there was a 17-year-old who was using a firearm to try and solve a dispute. What? I'm sorry, but can we? I'm gonna push this really far away for a second. What the fuck?
Whoa.
What? I'm sorry, but like what?
Well,
What
yeah.
17-year-old has any sort of like right mind to be able to be solving disputes with a firearm?
Well, because I work in Chicago public schools, it's not exactly my. I'm not trying to sympathize with the kid. He sounds all messed up. He's 17 years old. He's a high school dropout.
Yeah.
He has a criminal conviction for drug possessions. Feel you there.
Good. Been there.
I think his mom drove him to Wisconsin with his gun and drove him back after he murdered 2 people. So that's an awesome situation at home. I mean, like every single time there's some poor. I'm sorry. Oh, Mona.
Mona. I love how they pretend how growing income inequality and systemic racism have nothing to do with the decisions of the poor and working class, and
That police.
F that police.
F that police.
And F that police chief, not conflict resolution. He's a effing murderer. I know I said the F word before, but I have to avoid saying it too
Yeah.
many times.
Oh my
I think
God.
that's really the issue. I think YouTube just knows whenever you say it, and
Yeah.
then they keep count. So my bad, YouTube. But
my
I mean,
God.
but I don't know. I feel like that was well deserved. That was a well deserved.
I mean, it's an outrageous situation. It's also like, you know what? I hate that the kids are the pawns now.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I get the desire from a lot of people to tear this kid apart. Like, he murdered 2 people. He went up there to kill. He went up there to terrorize.
He had it. He
And
had
I
it in
mean,
his mind.
But at the same time, it's like he's grown up in an environment at Attica, Illinois. Like, I'm not surprised that he's from that. This poor. I mean, like,
I'm assuming
that he's
no,
from
I'm
there.
gonna
No,
just-
oh my
I'm
God!
just
Do
a
not
little-
come to my house and shoot me, you sacks of crap. But if you do, I'll haunt you. That's all I got.
I will haunt you.
That's all I got.
Attica.
I'm surrounded by Nazis. Yeah, like he's 17 years old, and this cop is there trying to defend his actions. Trayvon Martin was 17 years old. He was walking through a nice neighborhood, and that got him killed. He didn't have a gun. He had Skittles. And everyone talked about how he didn't follow the rules. He didn't comply. He had no business being there.
Everyone
he
wants
attacked
to talk
this.
about
Yeah.
how the victims are
Yeah.
the ones who messed up.
Right.
It's never the police officers. It's never the 17-year-old.
It's
with
never
a
the
firearm.
system that makes the murder of the non-American, of the other, of the oppressed. It's never that is held to account in America, ever, by the media, by our law enforcement, by any of our institutions, by our systems. So I'm not
Where's-
here to out for blood. Like,
Where is this kid
tearing
from?
this kid apart isn't going to solve stuff. But
Where is this kid from again? What?
Attica, it's almost like artichoke without the R. Yeah, I mean, like he's a fanatical Blue Lives Matter guy. Like, he grew up in a neighborhood where like cops and law enforcement and law and order and America, like, that was revered. He really thought he was doing a good thing. You guys are creating zealots and terrorists in your soil, and they're your children, America. We've been telling
yeah.
you this since Columbine, but you just
Not very good at listening.
Nah.
I do think about people in my hometown a whole lot because I come from like small town USA, middle of the country, right? Like everyone loves guns. I also have gone shooting guns before. I have appreciation and a great respect
Guns are
for
kinda neat,
firearms.
yeah, but, yeah.
Guns can be fun to shoot sometimes in a safe and controlled environment, but like I also
keywords.
yeah, keywords, safe and controlled, right? And not against protesters or people who are literally out there using another
that's rough,
another
Mona.
amendment, right, in our Constitution, right? So like you just as much as you have the right to bear arms, right? Those people in the streets have just as much of a right to protest and to be there and to
Right.
show up and be accountable to, or to create accountability to the system
Yeah.
that has been largely forgetting about them forever.
Forever. And I mean, like, I'm not, like, Trump's response is like, let me sick the Fed on him. Let me at him. Let me at him, guys.
Yeah, I've
like,
just
he's
been
got
waiting.
nothing intelligent. And this is like a moment where he can tweak out a little nuance over how horrible Biden has been on the 94 crime bill. That's my only thing to the left. Like, tear up Biden, tear up the Democrats. Don't do Trump's work for him. He's got a lot of money. He can do it. Like, don't give small dollar donations to Biden. He's got all the Bloomberg money in the world, right? Like, he can do it. This is a battle between the elites. Let them do it. But we see how they feel about us. Biden wants to keep the system that's normalizing systemic violence and put a smile on it. Trump thinks that it's not, steady. It's not killing enough. That's the problem. The system, all the systemized racism and violence is just not streamlined enough.
Oh, this makes so much more sense now. All right, cool. I'm totally on board. I know at the risk of sounding
What's up?
so ignorant about this story and what's been happening, I'm
Whoa, okay. Whoa.
Like,
There's a lot going on.
I just put it all together.
Okay.
There's Antioch
Yeah.
and there's Kenosha.
There's Kenosha.
And that makes so much more sense to me, but also,
Northern suburbs.
like,
All that fresh water.
and I mean, this is also
Those
right. Like, you
beautiful,
have to think
pristine freshwater lakes. I wonder who took that opportune
about. You also have to
environmental
think about like what the
gem.
all of the like. if
Good
you
liberal
go
people, really accepting of immigrants and outsiders. No.
Wisconsin, or at least kind of up around here, and then further north, right? To my understanding, is where a lot of bougie Chicago people go to get out of the city.
Yeah.
Because it's up north. It's not like, because if you go south in Chicago, it's just nothing but like fields.
Yeah.
But if you go north, right, then there's like lakes, and it's
Yeah.
beautiful up there. Madison is
That
beautiful.
giant
Milwaukee's
penis-shaped
great.
lake right there is what draws all of the power in the Midwest. The fresh water. It's. I mean, like, look at it. Look at it. Look at how much fresh water that is for the planet, and where things are like drying up. Cities in New Mexico, their aquifers might not be replenished in a couple of years because of climate change. They're looking at buying water from the lake. So that lake is what drives so much of our economy. Freshwater economics is basically the predecessors to libertarianism, which is a real in-between the Democrats and Republicans, which is a really nice spot for neoliberals to play populist. Freshwater suburbs like Attica that have just all these natural gems around them are basically fiefdoms. Democrat or
Mona, thank you so much for
Aw.
you were way too generous today. My friend on
You don't
Facebook
have to.
literally said that the kid that killed the protesters was a good thing, and there was nothing more American. Yeah, no, that I know those people. I know people who have opinions very similar to that. That's the problem, and I think we talked about this yesterday on the show a little bit. I think Kit brought up this point that like
yeah.
I know that we talk about this all the time. Like, whenever the government seemingly is the one that's trying to take away your rights, like, all of those people are up in arms.
Yeah, yeah.
But whenever it's the people who are trying to, like, get accountability from the government, it seems like those same more right-wing Republican, the people who really stand for individual rights or whatever you want to call it, right? That's the point whenever they're like, no, we just need to pay attention to the government. The government knows what's best. Except for whenever the government didn't know best, back whenever Obama was president, and it's the same. It's
Yeah, I mean, like the Bundys stared down the feds with guns pointed at them.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that Black Lives Matter protesters can ever really do that, but they can get hunted down by vigilantes.
Yeah.
And then have the cops kind of defend him. I mean, that was the other sad thing. Like, the cops offered him water and thanked the kid for walking around with an assault rifle while he was out there. They should have told him to go home. Or do you have a license for that? Do you have an ID? The kid's 17. He shouldn't, even in this, like, as crazy as this country is with giving guns out, even with our real loose regulations, he was
That's still
breaking
illegal.
them blatantly.
That's still illegal.
Right.
Yeah.
Blatantly breaking them. And if they really cared for his safety, they should have been like, go home. But
Yeah.
instead, they're like, no, go ahead and terrorize some of these guys.
Really
You
glad,
do it.
We're really glad that you guys are here.
Yeah. So what does he do? He shoots people immediately. He's being enabled by the very system that people are protesting.
Yep.
Come on, like,
It's
and I mean, like, and Donald Trump might get reelected. He might get reelected because America is that sick. You continuously poison your children's minds and spirits like that. That idiot. You do this to all of American kids.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, no, it's that. Maybe that's the best part, though, is that
We're all in it together.
the system isn't necessarily racist in its intentions of sort of telling the rest of the world what it's like, right?
Yeah.
The system is going to do what the system's going to do. What happens, though, is that if you are of the fairer skin, right,
Yeah.
it just so happens that typically the enforcers are also of the same fair skin, and they just have a little bit more trust in their, what looks like them and what
Yeah.
acts and talks and speak, and what acts like them, they're like, cool. As long as I don't have any problems, then it's going to be good.
Right.
And that's the weird part to me.
What I see in America, like the Democratic Party is older than the Republican Party, but not really in its itineration. The Democratic Party calls its historic roots basically to the founding of the country, but in its real political calculus and operation, it kind of got all fragmented and torn apart during the Jimmy Carter years. And
What's
Bill
up,
Clinton
Goran?
bringing it together, with his penis wasn't, now that he's old and geriatric, it's kind of like worn out. But the Republican Party is a new party that still talks about Lincoln like Lincoln would be proud of you. Lincoln would not be proud of you. Any of you guys. Any of you guys.
It would be maybe
Lincoln
the
would be abhor all of you awful, awful, awful people. He would just absolutely abhor all of you. Maybe not John Kasich, but he's a piece of crap too.
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's how he's a Lincoln Project guy. But the Republican Party is like a new party that wanted to like be more American than the older Democrat Party,
Yeah.
And it used to be kinder to immigrants as long as they were real American, and they assimilated.
As long as you were here to pursue the American dream in like
Right.
their fashion.
As long as
right?
you did America the
You come
American
here-
way.
You come here, you learn how to speak American,
Right.
and you become part of this. You come here legally. You come here part of the system, and you pay taxes. So that way, I don't have to do a lot of work because my wife and I were trying to make some additions to our 10-room mansion.
Oh,
actually, and I really need
More
some more
steps.
people to give me money. I need some tax breaks from Trump. Please, thank you
Subsidies.
very much.
There you go. America.
That's
Bootstraps.
That's the America that I know. I just want to give you like this is just me being extra at this point, right? Like this is where I'm from. This is,
Hey.
but I mean I want to show you like town size, right? Like I'm on the border of like Arkansas and Oklahoma. It's this town called Fort Smith. It's super small, but like all of the industrial is in like my town.
Yeah.
Like Walther Armaments
Yeah.
has a factory out of there.
Walter
Walter
the gun.
the
Cool.
gun armor.
Yeah.
And then like Little Rock obviously is the capital. It's very
Right.
it's
Very
I mean
Clinton-esque.
like legitimately nothing. All of this green that you see is green.
Whoa.
It is small towns dotted everywhere, and no one really like cares about what's happening anywhere else.
Like check out
in
that national
here,
first someday.
right? Like
yeah.
no one at all cares about what that. But my point in bringing that up, right, is like
Yeah.
the comparison from here to where this kid is from, right?
Right.
Is he's in a small town here. There's obviously more
Yeah.
city around him, right? But if you go north, you're just in these middle of nowhere sort of places, right? That just pocket
Yep,
the
yep, yep.
landscape, and it's all about the small town mindset, you know, that those people have. The people who are definitely like, I'm here to stand up for my rights as
Yeah.
I understand them in my small hometown,
Yeah.
and it's not a lot of empathy.
No, and I hear you. I mean, like that. You get that in Chicago, neighborhood by neighborhood. Like
Yeah.
you know, not even you know.
That's true.
And they have a unifying identity. Shout out to California, which is the best state according to Mona. Just saying.
I disagree.
I
It's too expensive.
I've only been a few times.
I mean,
it seems
here is
nice.
expensive too, but
It
like
is.
California is
It
very
is.
expensive.
Yeah. I don't know. But we had one more WTTW story before we get to
did.
our little
Before we get to the
ender,
part of the show where
our
we just,
finisher, or where we meander much more.
where we just do actually nothing.
Just it's a
But-
podcast to talk about Chicago stuff.
Where is okay? So, this article from the Nation from
Right. Oh my God. Okay.
2013.
Wait. Wasn't there something else from WTW?
Was there?
Oh wait. No.
We
No.
have-
No. I think
we
that was
have-
it. There was a lot of people applied for housing breaks that they did not necessarily get in Chicago, but I think we might cover that on HLM at some point.
Okay.
So, but yeah, this is an article from 2013 from Lee Fang. Decent dude. Don't agree with all his takes, but this was a great research, great article, and timely to talk about right now. It talks about JOP donors and K Street Fuel, third way's advice for the Democratic Party. De Blasio, which might be on his way out next year. I mean, he hasn't done an awesome job by left or right or moderate standards. Kept a lot of New Yorkers alive, I guess, as best he could. But Third Way, a centrist think tank that portrays itself as a Democratic group, has some advice for the party. Avoid economic populism at all costs. This is 2013, precursor to the Trump era and the ramp up to the Hillary Clinton presidency that never was. The Wall Street Journal today. The group argues that the party should steer clear of creating a strong safety net. Yeah, screw the safety net. Let them die. And criticize Mayor-elect de Blasio's call for... excuse me, dropping water. Criticize Mayor-elect Bill de Blasio's call for universal pre-K funded through an upper income tax increase, a foolhardy idea for National Democrats. I mean, if they did that, do you know how many people might stay alive? How many children might be cared for? How much money might be wasted on life and family?
Gross.
Like, holy shit.
Gross.
Oh my God.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
Disgusting,
I don't
America.
I don't need your socialist agenda of taking care of people in my country.
A safety net?
Get out.
Those people hitting the pavement is how I make my money, sir.
Yeah.
This is America.
Don't catch you slipping up.
My God. So
No,
yeah, so
shout out
let's
to
go
Childish
back
Gambino.
really quick because and let's share this article on the show notes because yeah, Lee Fang. I mean, like this is a crazy precursor
It's a
of
good-
things to come this decade. I mean, this is 2013. The Democrats basically saying like we need poor people to die to make money. Hillary's counting on it to be president. And it just ramp way for Trump to just be himself.
This was the like important part for me whenever I was reading through it.
Douche bunk.
Is like the two
An Illinois lobby group, Peck, Madigan, Jones, and Stewart. I don't think it has a direct connection to Michael Madigan.
Couldn't find one.
Couldn't find
but,
one.
I mean, perhaps, right? Speculation.
Seems weird that there wouldn't be. I'm just a little annoyed by that. But
Yeah.
Peck, Madigan, and Jones and Stewart, very famous for pushing. Well, famous in my head, for pushing Pete Buttigieg to the forefront of the presidential election. We see here that they have deep ties to Deutsche Bank, which we know is under federal investigation. And these are the guys that have basically been trying to steer the Democratic Party away from economic populism and towards 2013, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, everyone's favorite free deal, the TPP, that Obama was all in for, that Hillary Clinton ran on, that is dead in the water, that Trump kind of passed a really kind of light, nasty version of it. Said he wouldn't.
It's a really interesting the partnership, right? Like these two organizations complement each other well. Pat Madigan signs as a lobbyist for the government of New Zealand on TPP. Third Way aggressively promotes the deal, and that's kind of the way that they have been doing. That's how they run business together, right?
That's how they run business.
That's how they do business.
They're
Note that
businessmen.
Humana,
Businessmen.
major
Business.
health insurance company, lists its $50,000 donation to Third Way not as a donation to a think tank, but as part of its yearly budget spent on lobbying activity. So
Just cause.
Humana uses this donation, right, which is a tax write-off for one.
Right.
And two, they use it not as like just they're throwing money away for their own sort of like goodwill nature, right? They're legitimately paying their dues on getting legislation passed that will benefit their business in the long run.
Most definitely. Be sure to check out Kira McCown's Corporations Behaving Badly that
She's
aired
really good.
earlier today.
She's really
Amazing.
good.
When we take an hour and a half to meander through, she just like, bam, half
She-
hour.
she
There's the
knocks it
news.
out. Yeah.
Amazing takedown on K Street and how they're making money off you and the return on investments they get. But Humana, health insurance agency, 2013, pouring money into these K Street think tanks that are steering the Democratic this way, away from Medicare for all, basically.
And if you well, and I mean also to like go back in time a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like in 2013, we were dealing with this was after the Republicans took control of the House and Senate, I want to say, right, from Obama, and
Yep.
that was whenever they began to really start to try and dismantle Obamacare, which isn't good, isn't perfect, but was a step in some direction that could give people more coverage at the very least, right? But
The reason they were upset, it was because it was a giveaway to them, but it was it would cap the profits that they would make off of the sick and poor, and their profits would be dependent on the government, which
Yeah.
was a step towards their demise, and that's just not where
We
they
can't
want to
have
be,
that.
which is why they should be killed altogether, Obama, but you want to let Bloomberg defend them to save your legacy. Thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, man.
Really, really going to go awesome down in history.
Really
for that
appreciate
one.
that.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Also, you destroyed like 5 countries.
Continuing on Deutsche Bank, though.
Right. Deutsche Bank.
Is this story.
Hey, it's our favorite guy.
I love this guy.
This guy's
This guy
hilarious.
is so good.
He's always on
Have
TV.
you seen him?
Sold
Have
me
you
a steak
seen-
once.
Have you seen his shows back in the early 2000s?
He
Who
was in
Wants
the
to-
house with all the other crazy celebrities, I think. I don't know. He was on TV a lot.
Oh man, dude, he was
Yeah.
like prolific. And also like he apparently like get this, owned some businesses.
Oh,
like
my God.
in the 80s and 90s.
Man.
He like a prolific businessman.
Stable
honestly.
genius.
Stable genius. Love this guy so much. Can't praise him enough.
Right. So,
can't.
Jesus. So that
Oh,
felt
that
bad.
was- that hurt
So
me a
the
little
face
bit.
of American empire, all the hard work that Obama and Cheney poured their life into, to give it to this guy. Good job.
Who
Um,
is just doing everything he can. It seems
To make
like,
America
to, like,
great, to make it the best that it's ever been.
Legitimately though,
Um,
like I don't even
Just
think
like K Street guys. Yeah.
it feels like right now it feels like he is actually just taking all of that and being like, I see what you guys are doing, but I don't really care.
It's true. It's like he has to notice. He's like, all right, I see what you guys are doing, but somehow it'll work out for me.
yeah,
And I hate that he's right. He's
It-
probably right.
He's probably right because he's just man,
I've been rich and white my whole life, and it's never let me down.
and
This is America. It's
don't
gonna work.
catch you
It's gonna.
slipping up.
And you know what?
You know?
That's the one thing that Donnie Boy has always gotten right. Even when they catch him slipping up, he makes the slip into his slide.
Turns,
you
yeah,
know?
no, it's the all press is good press, and for whatever reason that works for him, but it doesn't work for like anyone else. I don't know.
No. It works for him because of who he is. He was
Yeah.
born into the Democratic Party's, royal family, and just decided to be Republican because that was the cool thing to do with K Street guys, and there you go.
God, can we also talk about
He puts
Sharper
ketchup
Image?
on a steak. Oh, that's disgusting.
He sold steaks from Sharper Image.
Chill, Jose. You got to work on that impression.
The
My
knife
God.
company.
What?
You know the knife company, Sharper Image.
Is that?
He sold steaks from the
Yeah.
knife company,
I don't.
Sharper Image. I just can't. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways. What is our faithful and loving leader doing? What's happening in the world? The U.S. House Intelligence Committee on Wednesday said it had narrowed a subpoena to Deutsche Bank AG for President Donald Trump's financial records so that it would fall in line with an earlier ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court. The committee's subpoena, as amended, clearly satisfies the court's new legal test for evaluating Congress's need for the president's personal information. Coming from Adam Schiff.
Yeah.
Schiff said in a memorandum that the committee was limiting the time frame covered by the subpoena. And it was left him vulnerable to the influence of. Okay, so this is what the House Intelligence Committee is looking for. Obviously, we kind of established that.
Left
What
him
seems
vulnerable
like
to
years
the
ago.
influence of foreign individuals or governments.
So
If you
they're
leave a
still
TV
looking-
on,
they're still
he's
looking for-
vulnerable to influence.
So
but-
here's the thing, though, is like what the problem is that what the Democrats are looking for now is still what they were looking for 4 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever we started this whole rigmarole of Russiagate, right?
Yeah.
Which, like, I know a lot of people in the comments aren't going to necessarily like my opinion on this, but I think Russiagate's important, but not for the reason that everyone else says it's important.
Left YouTube's coming for you, Gunner.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
don't care.
All right.
The only reason I say that.
Go off, man. Go off. young
The only
Padawan.
reason I say that is because, like, yes, like, did Russia, actually do anything to really sway the election? No, like, not really. They paid for some Facebook ads, and they
didn't hack those election machines. I'll say that.
They didn't hack the election machines. They did hack, I want to say, the DNC servers for Hillary's emails, which then, in coordination with Julian.
Right. Careful there, YouTube.
In coordination with him and his famous website, went back and forth with Roger Stone.
Yeah.
Roger Stone communicated that information allegedly to people who were involved in the Trump campaign.
Right.
My main point in all of that is that those things did happen and were proved to have happened, and you can find those things in the report that everyone talks about, the Mueller report.
Right.
You can find all that stuff. That stuff did happen, and that's why it's important. Is it important that Russia fundamentally changed the elections and elected Donald Trump? No, because they didn't. Donald Trump won because, for some reason, the American people and the Electoral College
the influence
wanted it
that
to
Russia
happen.
had was letting America be America.
Yeah.
Letting Trump be Trump.
Sorry for leaving it on
You
the
know, that's.
screen
I mean,
forever.
here's the thing, and that section that the House Intelligence Committee is trying to prove that foreign agents influenced Trump is so nebulous, and Trump is such a psychopath that believes anything at any given moment and is always on weird drugs.
Yeah.
You know, he can just say, "I always wanted to do that, guys."
He's just the guy to follow through
know,
on that kind of deal, right?
Exactly.
Like it's not a. I don't think there is any.
The FBI is closer to nailing Michael Madigan than the House Committee of anything is closer to doing anything to Trump on Russia.
Yeah.
Is basically my thing. And the Democrats trying to make mainstream media, corporate media hay out of Trump being an aggressively corrupt, disgusting human being. Forget that that's what his base elected him to be. You know?
Yeah. That's my main point of it is like the Russian stuff doesn't any foreign power could have been involved in this.
Yeah.
And it would have been the same result. The thing is that
I mean, Saudi Arabia pours money into our elections. Israel poured money into getting Obama unelected. You know, they poured money into
they pay so much
ads
money.
for Mitt Romney.
They still are paying. They've spent so much money on
Obama repaid
AOC
Bibi the favor.
out,
Didn't go so well. Right. They played these little games. Here's my thing. Like, it wasn't Russia that's like, we need Trump. It's critical to our stuff. But they're like, okay, that's a play, and it's going to annoy Hillary that basically wants to start World War III with us, and we're scared. Like, we got to make a move. This is easier to do, pouring money into crap talking than hard diplomacy at the UN. Thanks, America, for making your elections so ridiculous that's a play that we get to do.
Yeah.
But Saudi Arabia pours money into it. Israel pours money into it. China pours money into our elections. Obama basically said of Citizens United that this would happen, that foreign influence would navigate our elections. And Justice Roberts was like, "That's not true. I'm white. I know what I'm talking about. You don't, idiot."
What a cool argument.
Yeah, but yeah, no, true story. It happened. I saw it. But so all these foreign governments know that America's for sale, and Russia buys in and plays, and they shouldn't, because the neocons that like Hillary disagree, and the FBI's like, well, why do you get to decide what American empire should be? And everyone gets to like level the playing field somehow, and we got what we got. We got the stable genius that's leading our country towards its greatest golden era.
Can't tell you enough how much I love the guy. I just think he's so good.
Best president of my lifetime. I think.
I think so.
Easily.
Like, so much better than Bush.
Easily. Most consistent. Basically everything that flag represents. The FBI is so proud to spy and destroy young children's lives over. But we had one other thing about K Street, the book by one of my favorite human beings in the world, Grover Norquist. These are all the guys I'm going to hang out with in hell, basically. Like, I feel like part of my torture is that, like, I have to be around them, and part of their torture is, like, who's this person? Why is he bothering us? Like, why incessantly?
Porque to in defense of K Street. I'm just looking at all these references.
Yeah. So this is
Wikipedia.
This is in defense.
I'm just looking at all the references from the Wikipedia article. Ooh, there's Lainey Peterson giving her show notes for their show later. You can go look at that.
So K Street Project. This is worth looking into. It's an effort by the Republican Party to pressure Washington lobbying firms to hire Republicans in top positions and reward loyal GOP lobbyists with access to influential officials in arrangements known as crony capitalism. Right.
Ooh.
It sounds like capitalism perfected to me. It was launched in 1995 by Republican strategist Grover Norquist and then House Majority Whip Tom DeLay, who would eventually go to jail. Can we do like a little side tab so we can remind everyone of Tom DeLay's amazing story?
I was just gonna say that I've met Tom DeLay.
Oh, whoa, okay.
I was a child.
Oh, whoa, okay.
I was a child. I've just.
How much do you remember?
He was. I don't know. He was just some old. Well, okay. To be real, like whenever I was a child, I had nothing but love and admiration for the American project. So, I probably was like a really big fan.
Okay.
Probably.
I'm sure he liked that.
What did he do? Oh, he helped Newt Gingrich orchestrate the Republican Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
In 1995 with Grover Norquist. How? K Street.
He was elected House Majority Whip.
Mm-hmm.
After helped start K Street, advanced Republican ideals, was elected after the 2002 midterm elections. DeLay was known as a staunch conservative during his years in Congress. But even still, I think that he's probably not the same sort of caliber of conservative that we see today. I feel like the Conservative Party itself has like really, or the GOP specifically, right? Like has really changed even from the 90s to a little bit more of an overtly fascist. Yeah.
Yes. Democrats are becoming Republicans. The Republican Party are becoming Nazis.
Yeah.
And there's Trump.
Cool slide to the right we're making here
real
in the country.
Real nice.
So yeah, that's that.
But let's go back to Grover Norquist's like little revolution. And I'll stop bringing up stuff. But
Grover.
K Street works for both parties. They write bills and say pass this.
Yeah.
But they're the problem with big money in government. They're the problem with lobbyists basically running our society. And we see the graph, the back and forth, what you call Humana pays money, and then they get a return on their investment, and then they get legislation like Medicare for All killed from ever advancing. And this army of lobbyists is basically what we're up against as, political operatives, as organizers, as activists, as citizens of this country. We talked about the Godfather and Michael Corleone and basically having to fight and make his way into the legitimate world. Full of such sleaze and illegitimacy.
Right.
You look no further than K Street. Like, the Cosa Nostra and K Street, like, I don't see a difference in morality. Honestly, K Street, the Cosa Nostra at least, cares about their family. K Street goes out and, like, no safety net for society. right? Go out
Who needs
and
it?
make sure that you don't have universal health care. Go out and make sure that we keep a ban on rent control in Illinois and depend on those mass evictions to get a return later. Like, these guys that play capitalism with all of our lives, like, they're the enemy, whether it's Biden or whether it's Trump that gets in. And I kind of hope it's Trump, because I think that we can make him, do something terrible to these people.
I feel like there's a strange amount of leverage that we can have if Trump wins that we won't have if Biden wins.
Donnie boy, you want help with your campaign? Give me $1 million and I'll help you. All we got to do is destroy K Street, and I bet you
It's
win
a
as an
small
economic
loan.
populist.
Small loan of $1 million. Your
Small
dad
little
gave
$1 million
you one.
loan. Small little $1 million loan, and let's destroy K Street together.
I will
and,
be-
and it's gonna be great.
I will be
And,
so much of a
I
better
offered this
son.
to Obama, but
I'll be a better
he's friends
son
with
to
those K
you
Street
than
guys.
all of your sons combined. I will sit on your lap like you have Ivanka sit on your
I
lap.
will not do that.
Just give me $1 million
Yeah.
so that I can ruin.
He's
the
not good
war.
for the money. He is not good for the
He's
money.
not. No, he's
he is
really
not
not.
good for the money.
What's he worth? $3 billion?
Shut-
$5 billion? $250 million? We
I
don't
don't
really
know, man.
'cause
I
he
saw
lies
him
about
signing the
it.
check, and he's like, "Don't cash this till Friday," like the other day. So I don't know. Such an idiot. Yeah,
I wrote
our
my
president's an
political donors a
idiot.
check,
He's a
but-
Nazi. The country's been going to hell.
Yeah, no, this isn't new.
Yeah, it's been going to hell since K Street decided that, you know what, Jeff Bezos is not rich enough.
don't
Elon
think-
Musk is not rich enough. Let's help him get as much money as he needs.
And, like, they
You
don't
know?
have enough power in our system.
And they don't
you
have
know?
enough power in our system.
I really think that that's...
Yeah, and do these people really believe that? No, it's just that they work for them,
Right.
and these minions live off of the scraps that these billionaires get from making you work till the bone and die without health care and
that's like-
fear and
oh.
angry and confused, and
but
they get
that's
richer.
So, but think about it, though, right? Like, the scraps that you're talking about that these people get are... like large, they would be considered large endowments for everyone else.
Oh
right?
yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, you can be, these are guys that are helping destroy unions while
Yeah.
working with Democrats that depend on that union vote.
Yeah.
Like, this is why Wisconsin is flippy floppy and all dumb and crazy. Like,
They got good cheese, though.
German ancestry. Biggest white ancestries in America is English and German. Who would have
Something
known?
to think about.
It's like a little EU Brexit fight here in America at home.
Brexit.
Democrats, Republicans. What?
Oh, I don't
What?
know about that.
What? Culture? What?
I don't know about that. I want to hear someone read the Plan Well ID
all right.
Healthcare
So
ad
I
in
want to
Donnie's
hear
voice.
someone read Plan Well D Healthcare ad in Donnie's voice.
I don't think I do a terrible
Listen.
Donald Trump impression, Al. I just want to say, I think it's not bad. Anthony Reyes.
Broke the microphone.
What does Trump do? He does this.
It's like hands
Yeah.
and then like lips.
We're gonna have so much testing. I can't do it. No, I can't do it. Yeah. So much testing. The most testing. What the fuck? No, but he hates testing. I don't know what the guy does.
Whoa.
He
That's
hasn't even
it. That's
fired
all I
someone
got.
in a while. You're
That's-
slipping, Donnie.
I'm just thinking about now, like, Donald
fired.
Trump survives 20 more years, right?
Yeah.
But
Oh,
he, like,
shit.
loses...
No.
but hold on.
God.
But he loses power,
hope
and
he's
all
dead
that he
and
has left is it's just him like... Everything else, his dynasty falls, and it's just him, Michael Corleone style, right, at the end of the movie. And he's just sitting in a chair.
Beautiful coif hair.
Beautiful coiffed hair, but he's just staring off into space, and someone's like, "Come on, Don, like it's time for dinner," and he just looks up and goes, "Whoa," and then dies. That's it. That's the end of Donald Trump. Like that's all I can think about.
He's a horrible man. He's a nasty man.
I've never liked that man, except for when I did. I love him, but he's horrible. Whoa.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
Wall is all I can think
K-Street's
about
been
now.
very unfair to the working people in this country. America was great, and then K Street ran with its crony capitalism.
Everyone knows.
Very
everyone knows.
unfair.
America runs on Duncan.
Everyone is saying K Street is the worst. Very unfair to me. When I
I'm
had my
saying
they
it.
call.
You're
they
saying
call.
it. I'm saying it. We're all saying it.
But now they don't call. They don't call anymore. He's always like a little hungover uncle, like,
He
just
really
like,
is.
Watch me. I'm talking. Wait for my words. You know you love it.
He does that thing. Oh, now I want to find it because it's like whenever he's like before he's about to make a speech, right? Right before he starts talking, where he like stands there and just goes,
"This is for me. I feel good."
And then he like puts his lips over. He's like, "All right, everyone, listen to me. I'm about to say words.
And he's got a little faceless thing.
Immigrants,
The worst.
the worst. I don't know any good immigrants. If I can't even think about them in my brain now."
He only hires immigrants. Because
He
I don't
only-
know
yeah.
any immigrants.
I've never heard. Yeah, but yeah, I don't.
Never associated.
This is we now reached the hi. Welcome to the meandering portion of the podcast.
Yeah, this is the meandering portion of the podcast.
Where we just kind of sit here and chat about Trump or do whatever. So, okay, if you guys weren't here in the beginning of the stream, or if you were and you just want to hear us say it again, this is the last Thursday,
Goodbye.
Tuesday and Thursday. Fear and Loathing. Sorry, we will be taking a quick hiatus while I go to Arkansas and sort my life out. Just
Yeah, get it
kidding.
together.
I'm gonna go sit in a hot
That's
tub.
gonna be fun. Yeah.
It's gonna be a really good time. And then next Sunday, September 4th, 6th, 4th. It's a day. It's not this next Sunday. It's the Sunday coming after.
Right.
Jose and I will be.
It's like precursor to like my mom's birthday, so I'll probably zoom in, do like a little
Yes.
quickie episode. But yeah, we're gonna be switching to the Sundays and a little bit more chatty, a little less hard-hitting news. I'm running out of righteous anger because
I kind of just want to like talk more.
I'm a little better. I'm so much better off than so much of what's going on in the world that it feels wrong to be angry all the time. But I'm still upset at like these K Street guys and at Obama for destroying the Bernie candidacy and Biden for being an awful old racist sack of crap and
sack of carp.
And my president's out there like, you know, not listening to anything that I care about, you know, Donnie boy, like, you know, I'm an American taxpayer too. Like, I don't like the Democrats. You're not even trying for my vote over here. Like, say some smack about K Street. Say something terrible about them. That'd be great. He's not even gonna, you know what? The thing is that him talking smack about K Street wouldn't even do anything, but I bet you it would hurt the stock market. That's how sensitive these little idiots on K Street are. If Donald Trump decided, you know what, you guys are very rude to me, and I kind of had it with your crony capitalism, a bunch of crap that they work for is going to go down the toilet.
Yeah.
Do it, Donnie. Show them your power of your little tweets. Do it. Do it, Twitler.
I'm just like, okay, so
We do need to stay angry, though.
I was doing Trump's best words. Well, it's my I can't actively stay the things that I want to accomplish in my life don't actively involve me being angry all the time about politics, and that sucks. But I also hope to be able to use that sort of peace that I can give myself as like a means to help, right?
Yeah.
Further the cause. It's just like I'm angry about things,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like I'm angry about the country. I love this country. I love the opportunity it's given me, right? And but I also it sucks.
Yeah, well, the people of this country are okay. That's who I'm
and
here
also
for.
yeah,
But
like
if you-
I'm rooting for the people of the country who you know, like I love and care about, and people who I don't know who I also love and care about. If you're a racist, then just stop being racist, and like maybe we could come to terms with actually what the problem is. You know, if you are Donald Trump, maybe just stop being the president and like
he might go to jail if he stops.
You're right, but maybe stay being the
He
president
really
if that helps you.
He's
I
in a
don't
real
know.
pickle here.
It's true.
What a terrible saga
But
America
yeah, no,
is caught up in. It's like, you know, it's like the president's not that great, but I mean, like, you know, if he doesn't get reelected, he's going to go to jail. So I understand why.
I still
why
stand
he's gotta
by
work
the
as hard as he
phrasing-
does.
I still stand by the phrasing that I had whenever he first became nominated as like the presumptive Republican nominee for president. I said out loud to like me and I think whoever else I was with in the room. I think it was like a friend of mine in Washington or something. But I just said out loud, like, Trump's probably going to win, and he's probably going to make America great again, but not through anything that he does himself, right? It's going to be through his failures that everything is exposed, and that's where the true making it great again is going to be. And like, it's not going to be over anytime soon, but I do think that currently where we're at right now in the world seems to be kind of the start actually of that process in a way that I don't think we've necessarily seen for a long time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a weird one. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird couple of decades.
Hey, K Street. Oh yeah,
Let's Google K Street really quick so we can show them what it actually is, and everybody should know about this location. Yeah, I mean, like, Trump is the beginning and ending of something, you know.
Yeah.
And 4 more years of him would
He's the first
be
billionaire
rough,
to be
but
elected president.
it'd still be in that arc. Yeah.
K Street looks like this.
Yeah, it's an actual street in Washington, D.C. Like Wall Street's an actual street in New York City, but, you know, it encompasses a whole idea. Wall Street, basically all of the toxicity of the finance district, sector, industry, and then K Street, basically all of the lobbying firms that do crony capitalism, that get to legally bribe, what you call it, elected officials in Washington, D.C. And they're all there together, so it makes it really easy. Really good sandwiches on that block, I hear.
Great sandwiches.
Great sandwiches.
Love a great sandwich. I can't get enough of those great sandwiches. And also getting my 401k stolen from me. Yay. I don't have a 401k. I'm not prepared.
That's where it's going. That's the guys that did it.
That is where it is going.
Who's killing Social Security? Those guys.
Those dudes for sure.
Who's killing Medicare for all? Those guys. Who's making sure you get evicted? Those guys. Just before things get terrible, I want the whole world to know that K Street's responsible for it. That's all. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And those guys are really proud of the work they do. I'm sure they'd love to brag to the masses about how hard they work for their money.
Okay, I want to go backwards in a little bit here because I just looked on Twitter. That the guy who went to Kenosha, he's trending, right?
Oh,
and my thing is, like, I don't want to publicize him more because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this dude was like super proud of the fact that he's trending on Twitter.
He's gonna get the whole what's his name that killed Trey
which is what
George
this
Zimmerman
tweet that I'm seeing is like or someone says like this guy and Trayvon Martin were the same age, but the black one with the Skittles was the threat. That's a tweet that I'm reading. And yeah, like I just don't. I'm a little bit confused because whenever we jump back in time like a year, and school shootings were a really big thing, and a lot of people we finally had made it to a point where the shooter, we stopped publicizing their name or their picture or whatever on the news because we come to realize that that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that attention. They want to go out with a bang, right? They want to be. They want to have
just
left
suicide
an impact.
themselves. They want everyone to remember them. Yeah.
They want to have left an impact. And this guy, who I don't necessarily think was on any sort of like suicide mission by any means, but he was going to exact justice in his form upon people who didn't deserve it. But like, why is he trend? Why is his name trending on Twitter? Why is his picture continually trending on Twitter? Why are we talking about? I just don't necessarily understand it.
I think I have facetiously said as nicest things that I could ever possibly say about Donald Trump. But honestly, why is he trending? Disgustingly, Trump's going to defend the hell out of him and blame Democrats for what that kid did.
Yeah.
That's why. Because white supremacy is about the hypocrisy that Donald Trump embodies. I can do it. You can't.
Yeah.
I make the rules for you. Okay, now I want to do that. I'm going to change the rules.
Whoa, rules.
And the fact that he demonstrates that hypocrisy and gets away with it is what empowers white supremacy. It's why Steve Bannon picked him, you know?
Yeah. Okay, E-Heller, I understand, like, because Twitter trends are fickle. I understand that they're fickle, but they are...
It's true.
They are a pretty decent metric to figure out what the country's talking about, or at least what the world is talking about.
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent
Good job,
metric.
Jack. Much better than Mark Zuckerberg. Just smart.
Even if right, like even I know that there's a lot of trends get hopped on by like bots and people, activists who want to change the messaging of it or whatever. But like this thread, at least currently, is definitely a lot of logical thought being applied to this. Like oh man, how do you say Pramila Jayapal?
Okay. Nailed it.
U.S. House
Representative
candidate, right,
Jayapal,
in
yeah.
Washington, tweeted, police shot Jacob Blake 7 times in the back, leaving him paralyzed. Meanwhile, Kyle illegally carried a rifle and was arrested for shooting and murdering protesters until he was home in Illinois. There is no logic to support this. This is white supremacy, right? So, like, a lot of the tweets are in sort of the same nature.
Yeah.
But then there's other people, obviously, like video shows this guy acted in self-defense, and like, if you bring a weapon anywhere, and then you try and say that you're acting in self-defense whenever someone who's not carrying a weapon attacks you, you should go to jail. You should be arrested. That's the least of what should happen to you in that situation, because you're, man, I don't, like, the whole reason why you go to other countries with weapons if you're in the military is because that's what you use to defend yourself, right? In that situation. But if you are in your home country and you think that it's a good idea to bring a AR or any sort of firearm with you to a protest, but especially an AR because of how you can't hide an AR as easily. And also you're 17. 1, shouldn't have one. 2, your mom should be arrested as an accomplice to murder.
Yeah, lady.
3, I can't logically figure it out in my brain why all of this is happening the way that it's happening, other than white supremacy. And I know that white supremacy is not a logical thing, but it really...
I mean, it is. Honestly...
It really kind of blows my brain.
Here's my thing, especially with leftists that maybe elevate Trump too much. Proving that the white supremacy is rampant and foundational of the Democratic Party doesn't change how the zealotry that the Republican Party has moved towards white supremacy during my entire lifetime is the thing. I mean, I can be mad. I am mad at the Democrats for being complete phonies and nefarious poisoners of my food. And they're like, we had the courtesy to lie to you. Whereas the Republicans are like, well, we're really straight for you. And you know what? You're both right. I appreciate Republicans for letting me know how little you value my human life.
Gee, thanks.
I appreciate you Democrats for lying to my face and taking my feelings into account while you secretly work to destroy and end my entire demographic's lives. Those are the nicest things that you guys have done for us. I think we can return that in kind. But the white supremacy is rampant in this country because it's enabled and systemized by these systems that, like K Street, that normalize graft and grift and crony capitalism. But really, capitalism as it's meant to be working, where it's only meant to be working for some, and basically the workers of those financial institutions work for the actual capitalists to work all of us human capital and get to work for them. And you know what? It's a lot more profitable when we don't have a safety net or universal health care or any other guaranteed rights. Rewrite the Constitution already.
Everybody talks about how I have a lot of friends who were super... People celebrate whenever rich people make more money and don't even realize that that's literally money that they're stealing from you.
From your labor, from your hard work,
Yeah.
you know? Like, hard work gets you rich. You know, if that were true, like, all the people working in sweatshops would be rich. But they're not, because all of their hard work makes someone else money. That's how capitalism works. And K Street has made sure that it's worked exactly as we are all in horror of it working right now. And so, I mean, Donald Trump's never going to say anything bad about K Street. They're the reason he's there. I just think it'd be hilarious if he did, because I know that would affect the stock market. But he's a wimp. The Republican Party, and this is the other thing, they're weak right now. The RNC this whole week has been like, we're not that racist. The Democrats are the real racists. 2016, Donald Trump's campaign was like, I don't care how you feel about it. I'm proud to be racist.
Yeah.
You know, what he's doing now is some weak ass crap. You know, you've proven that Biden's more racist than you, Trump, but now you're running on like, I'm not as racist. Like, is that the America that you know?
That's
is that the
also, like,
WrestleMania politics that you've perfected? Really, Donnie
that's
boy?
Also, like, not.
Who's
Everyone
running your
should
crap?
know that that's
Who's
not
running
how
your
he
crap?
feels.
No one. They're taking your money and they're not running crap. That's what they're doing. Okay. Hey, Daniel's making like, hey, you guys have been on for a minute. But yeah, that's. I mean, like, this kid is gonna. I don't like what's going on with this kid. He's gonna get heroized by one side. He's gonna get, you know, he rightfully should be demonized by another side. But it's all gonna mess with them, and he might have a very long life of being influential for this horrible thing that he did. When he really should just get some help, and mom should really get some help, because holy crap, you raised
John Doe, Al G,
very
Daniel
sad child.
Lupker, Lawrence Johnson,
broken murderous
Internet
child.
God. Who else? I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss anyone before we. Jesus, what's up, Jesus? Greywalker, what's happening? Who else we got in here? Holly Holm.
Yeah.
Holly Horn, I mean. Sorry. My brain just had a struggle fest for a second. Anthony Reyes. I feel like I already said hello, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I thank you all for joining us. We
Thank you so much.
appreciate it. Mona, I'm not going to forget Mona.
We never mention Mona.
Mona Carmona.
Thank you so much,
Thank you
everyone
so
that
much.
tunes in.
No, yeah,
thank
thank
you
you so
guys for
much.
appreciating our content. And, you know, prisons are kind of sweatshops in America
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
they
kind of
are.
legalized slavery a little bit there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, all of America is just made to put human capital to work. And essentially that's been my thing with undocumented immigration. American economy depends on the exploitation of undocumented workers. And then it creates a system to terrorize them and make them live in perpetual fear and anxiety while depending on them. That's what's so terrible about the situation there. And then in 2013, a pathway to citizenship, Obama passed DACA. You know what DACA is? It's basically like if you're an Ivy League 4.0 graduate, you have a chance to maybe stay in this country with a little less fear for a little bit until we decided what to do with you.
Until we figure out actually what you are.
You don't
to
have
this
any of those
country.
qualifications. Goodbye.
Yeah.
2013, working with youth, they were like, how can we expand this so that we're not losing our classmates? Didn't happen. They're gone.
I had a
This whole
friend-
pathway to citizenship, sorry, but this last point was just, it was the idea that these undocumented workers that our economy depends on should not live in perpetual fear and anxiety. You don't need ICE perpetually seeking to deport you if your paperwork is lax because of your employer, because it's better for them. We will make it so that you have a pathway to be an American, even if it's a lifetime and it really happens never. It was a way to keep the exploitation of the labor with being somewhat humane and getting rid of the fear.
Right.
Donald Trump is president precisely because of that legislation. He galvanized off of the birther stuff and then went with no amnesty for illegals. No, they're rapists, they're murderers, and some I assume are good people. Like I
was good. That was a
don't
good quote.
like Trump. I've hated the man and what he represents and the movement and how
I don't know what you're talking about. I love that guy
agile he
dearly.
is at just taking on the Democrats' corruption. Internet God, and there's many of them, points out how our immigration system's being fixed with a $300 mile wall. Most undocumented immigration happens because people just stay on their visas. But they get those work visas because farmers need those workers. These are American programs.
Yeah.
So, and Donald Trump isn't fixing anything. If anything, he's breaking things with purposefully, and
so that
there's
way
some
he
opportunity in his breakage.
So that way he can attempt to like fix it and be the hero that saves the day, so he can continue screwing people over.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the unfortunate thing too, though, is that like to a lot of immigrants, right? Like America still will be the continued bastion of freedom and democracy that it is to them, right? To people who come from other countries that have less than we do, right? Have less access, you could say, right?
I mean,
At
EU
least
certainly doesn't want to take on more immigrants, despite them blowing up half the world. There's England, idiots. But I mean, China's building up Africa and picking and choosing the countries that have the most natural resources to do business with, who then can go on and grow other countries adjacent to them.
Mm-hmm.
Civilization building at a really high level. I mean, China's had 3 empires. We had one that we bought on credit for like 70 years.
Mona, I mean, I honestly don't think Trump wants the job. Is it just me? No, I don't think that's just you. I think that's him too. And I also don't believe Trump thinks he's a racist. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Trump thinks he's a racist.
I don't think, you know what? I think that Trump doesn't think it should matter how he behaves.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he cares so much whether he's a racist or not, other than I'm trying to treat you fairly, treat me fairly. But he has a lot of racist opinions and a lot of internalized racism that he just normalizes. But I mean, that's a lot of Americans. I mean, you deal with that when you try to buy a cup of coffee sometimes. Definitely deal with that. Most times you deal with the police. Like, this is America.
Don't catch you slipping up. Gray Walker, I find it interesting that the reason those immigrants are there is never discussed. What are you talking about, though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious about. Obama granted unprecedented amount of visas as he deported unprecedented amount of immigrants. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I saw Obama. The immigrant system was broken on purpose exactly for the human exploitation problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Obama working fast to try to clean it up and make it work so that it wasn't exactly coming to this compromise. Keep the exploitation, get rid of the fear. Everybody wins. Humane capitalism. That's Obama.
The U.S. registered. Yeah.
But he gave the ICE creating neocons, I hate immigrants. Donald Trump is right about those vandals. He gave those Republicans anything they wanted to treat immigrants any way they wanted at the border, at the camps, in order to build goodwill with those races. So
the point that Gray Walker was trying to make is that the U.S. wrecks those countries.
Oh, right. Honduras, Bolivia.
And yeah, you're right. But the unfortunate part of that, though, right, is that those immigrants who are coming don't necessarily know that.
They don't. They know. I mean, it's UN law that you can't turn away refugees, that are in horrible human crises. And yeah, America creates most of the human crises in South America and Central America that drives these immigration caravans. Mm-hmm. Like that was Hillary in Central America.
And then Trump demonizes the caravans.
Right.
Knows that he can't turn them away, but is completely willing to send a bunch of National Guard and ICE agents down to muck up the process even more, to make it more complicated, get a bunch of private companies to build some detention centers. You could call them holding facilities. What you also could more aptly call them is like concentration camps, but yeah, I mean, it's a system that begets itself, and it's all for the exploitation of human capital so that people can make more money. So that a few people can make more money.
So a few people can make more money. Yeah. I mean, like,
cool.
Ugh. And the thing is that the DNC the Democrats. Complete. I mean, like Henry Cuellar, like, Latino conservative Democrat voter, like, pro-life, be a citizen. I did it the right way. Like, capital fines. It's not even parties. It's capital. Rich people find the yes men that they need for any given situation. And the Democrats have a variety, a multiracial.
Daniel. It always makes me laugh when people not familiar with the channel come here and see that we act a little bit left this and then try to hold the Democratic Party against us. Yeah, like if you've been here for a little bit, you probably know that like we don't like.
Oh wow, we got trolls. This is awesome. Thank you, Mona, for clearing it up. F DNC, F Biden, F Harris, F Trump. Yep, that's where we're at.
Yeah,
also
man.
McConnell, because he's like, oh my god.
I just yeah. Okay, I think we've been meandering for long.
We've been
enough.
meandering for a while, sir.
Yeah,
Man,
we're
it's
pretty
like our
good.
last episode or something.
Yeah, it's almost as if we're gonna like be on
Miss
a hiatus
this or something a little.
I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss y'all, you guys. I'm gonna miss you. I'm gonna miss this.
I mean, I'll see you like next week.
Yeah,
but
but I mean,
Yeah.
We talk all the time.
Yeah. Anyways.
So this has been Chicago Corner. This has been Fear and Loathing in the Windy City. Started this show with the idea that the Democratic Party around Chicago would be a huge influence in the presidential election that we were all embroiled in, and this people-powered movement. I do hope that we keep pushing for economic populism, which just means that our economic priorities are with the needs of the people, and then from there we can go to eco-socialism. Be nice. But catch us again on Chicago Corner, Fear and Loathing in the Windy City on September 6th. We'll be switching to Sundays. I will be back on Heartlands Media on Mondays and Fridays. That might go down to 1 day a week. Sorry, Daniel, if you're watching, that's me letting you know. But that's not going to be till a little later. I will still be on the HLM podcast. Maybe not twice a week. It is going to be a lot with work. But it's been really great doing this show, doing it our way, doing it my way, talking about whatever we want. If you feel like you want to do something similar about Chicago, tell Chicago stories. We need more Chicago stories uplifted. Please reach out to 99 Perspective Studio. Kid and Daniel have been great to work with. Gunnar, our technology engine seer.
I just try to make stuff work. That's really.
He's really good with the Googles and the YouTubes and stuff. But it's been a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Gunnar, any parting words for our amazing audience?
I don't know, be best. I don't know. I don't know. Keep doing it. I really appreciate you guys being here. Daniel sent a sad face. I guess he has received the message.
Oh dear. Sorry. Yes. It's a lot to do 2 days a week.
Well, then. I guess I don't really know. I don't have any. I wasn't expecting you to. You made me a little bit slightly emotional here.
Oh.
But it's hard for me to do. Anyways. Thank you.
Build back
Thank
better.
You. Build back better. Thank
Build
you for
back better. We do need more labor, and it'd be great if we had someone from labor in Chicago join us on the HLM podcast sometime.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do interviews like that and help. I would really love to interview more people on Fear and Loathing Sunday shows, especially anyone that's looking to help organize a general strike. It's almost an impossible task to do, guys. I know everyone's like, general strike. Martin Luther King literally got killed or trying to organize a general strike by the FBI. So, like, we should still try, but just so we know what we're doing. All right, guys? And that's what we're here to do.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, E. Heller. You reminded me.
Mm-hmm.
At 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on the HLM channel, we will be starting Civically Minded with Lainey Peterson. And then at 6 p.m., we will be moving over to back here to Chicago Corner to finish up with the Civically Minded Chicago. Mm-hmm. And then that'll be it for shows today, I want to say. And then
Gunnar will be gone this weekend.
Yeah, I won't be here tomorrow. I might be in the chat, though. I'll be in Arkansas.
Catch the podcast tomorrow. Do you have Rockfin tomorrow? Kit got an episode?
Oh, we're doing a Rockfin tonight as well.
Tonight, okay.
Yeah, we're doing a Rockfin.
Tomorrow.
Kit's doing a Rockfin tonight.
And Gunnar will not be able to join us, but on Sunday we are covering the Movement for the People's Party event stream.
It'll be
Hopefully, it doesn't get hacked. Though I have my
Hopefully it doesn't
suspicions.
get hacked.
But, yeah.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
With that being said,
I'm
my
Fear and
name-
Loathing.
and I'm the Windy City.
Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Bye.
Be good, Chicago.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Trust in you.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get. Good night, kiddo.
meditation, which of course can be also called mindfulness. One of the big misconceptions about meditation is about the thoughts that come up when we meditate. And what does that mean? You know, people try to meditate as if they're trying to switch their mind off and go into a blank state. Clear your mind, blank out your mind, still your mind. I mean, all of that doesn't work, because the more you try to still your mind, the busier it becomes. So it's a different game altogether. It's not about suppression, it's not about silencing the mind. It's about learning to not get so involved in the thoughts and just let them go. The thoughts can just go by like clouds in the sky. A modern image would be traffic. You're standing at the side of a road, lots of cars going by. Do you get in those cars or not? That's the question. Maybe those cars are taxis. Taxi only stops if you put your hand out, and then you get in the taxi and go for a drive. I mean, even though we are intelligent, educated, free-thinking people, we're not really free deep down inside, because our moods, our mind states, we don't choose them. We don't choose to be irritated. We don't choose to get annoyed. We certainly don't choose to be depressed or anxious. So there's not much freedom there. The mind is doing stuff we don't want it to do. So it's almost as if we are automatically, unwillingly jumping in all those taxis in our head. So it's about letting it go by, so letting the thoughts go by, not getting so wound up in them. And so as that grows and builds and we become better at it, we'll find that we are less tormented by our own mind.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I'd like that.
And each time I thought I'd found my Prince Charming. Most people fall in love quite a few times in their lives.
Well then, how can you tell when you're really in love?
Well, I'll have to think about that. Let's say tomorrow, shall we?
And you were really in love with Betty and Mary and Alice and I don't know who else. And there'll be others, I suppose.
Oh no, that's over with. Say, Nora, talking about music, have you heard the new recording of the Brahms Violin Concerto?
No, I guess I never really learned to appreciate classical.
Bob, did you feel this way when you fell in love with Jean?
Oh, look. I've felt that way lots of times. The trouble with you is, you don't seem to understand what love is really about. It's nothing like the slush they give you in the movies.
Well, I don't know, Bob.
Mature love. That's a new way of thinking about it. How can you tell when love is mature?
Well, mature love is more simple. Mature love has something of the other kind of love in it and something mostly more. It's tender, unselfish, cooperative.
When I get serious about somebody now, I want to have that kind of love.
You know, there's no telling what we don't get, but I'm willing to take a chance if you are.
Oh, that's the fun of it, Bob. What about some of this watercress salad?
That's a fine idea.
We're not ready for that kind of attachment, are we? But we can still have a lot of fun, can't we?
Sure we can. Would you like? How about going roller skating next Friday night?
Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful idea. That's the kind of fun I like.
What's the time?
About 8:15.
Well, I'll see you then. Thanks for this evening. Good night.
Good night.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
Trust in you.
Well, that didn't suck.
I'll take what I can get. Good night, kiddo.
meditation, which of course can be also called mindfulness. One of the big misconceptions about meditation is about the thoughts that come up when we meditate, and what does that mean? You know, people try to meditate as if they're trying to switch their mind off and go into a blank state. Clear your mind, blank out your mind, still your mind. I mean, all of that doesn't work, because the more you try to still your mind, the busier it becomes. So it's a different game altogether. It's not about suppression, it's not about silencing the mind. It's about learning to not get so involved in the thoughts and just let them go. The thoughts can just go by like clouds in the sky. A modern image would be traffic. You're standing at the side of a road, lots of cars going by. Do you get in those cars or not? That's the question. Maybe those cars are taxis. Taxi only stops if you put your hand out, and then you get in the taxi and go for a drive. I mean, even though we are intelligent, educated, free-thinking people, we're not really free deep down inside, because our moods, our mind states, we don't choose them. We don't choose to be irritated. We don't choose to get annoyed. We certainly don't choose to be depressed or anxious. So there's not much freedom there. The mind is doing stuff we don't want it to do. So it's almost as if we are automatically, unwillingly jumping in all those taxis in our head. So it's about letting it go by, so letting the thoughts go by, not getting so wound up in them. And so as that grows and builds and we become better at it, we'll find that we are less tormented by our own mind.
I don't think I can ever forgive you for that. But I would like to try.
I like that.
And each time I thought I'd found my Prince Charming. Most people fall in love quite a few times in their lives.
Well, then, how can you tell when you're really in love?
Well, I'll have to think about that. Let's say tomorrow, shall we?
And you were really in love with Betty and Mary and Alice and I don't know who else. And there'll be others, I suppose.
Oh, no. That's over with. Say, Nora, talking about music, have you heard the new recording of the Brahms Violin Concerto?
No. I guess I never really learned to appreciate classical.
Bob, did you feel this way when
Coming
you
in
saw
fast.
her?
She's coming in hot.
Oh, look.
Sorry I kept you waiting.
Lots of stuff.
How are you? I'm awesome. Which way are you going?
You don't seem to understand what love is really about. It's nothing like this much to give you the mood.
butt.
I feel great.
Bye, Lindsay. Good to see you.
Well,
See ya.
See you.
I don't know, Bob.
That girl, she's great. Okay, 12 miles at an 8:05 pace. Great run with Lindsay. It's fun running with someone else. Should do that more. Do it again.
How can you tell when
Do it
love is
again.
true?
All right.
Well,
Do it again,
love
Franny.
is more special.
That's a good step. That's a good
Mature
step.
love has
Good work,
something of the
Francine.
other
Good work.
kind
High
of
five.
love in it and
Good work.
something
All
more.
right. We let the baby cry herself to sleep. It's called self-soothing. Never easy.
I felt it. When I get serious about something, I want to have
You know, there's no telling what
Normally
you're gonna get.
my
I'm willing to
vlogs
take
are
a chance
about
you are.
Oh, that's the positive, Bob.
really happy things and like
That's a
super
fine idea.
uplifting narratives. And today I want to talk about something that's not happy. I want to talk about something that's super
We're not
scary.
ready for that
So
kind of attachment, are we?
I just wanted to give a warning
We
that
can talk about it then, can't we?
If you want something that's like happy or chipper like yesterday's vlog, then you should just rewatch yesterday's vlog because today is not going to be a happy one and maybe you should skip it.
Just because it's for my lunch.
About 8:15.
Well, I'll see you then. Thanks for that. Good night.
Good night.
When the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels.
I want to share my September 11th story. Now, I've told pieces of this before in other videos. I've referenced this before, but I've never really gotten into like what that time was like for me personally, or what that day was like for me personally. This seems like an appropriate forum for that. First, just like a touch of context. I moved to New York City on June 4th, 2001. Literally exactly on June 4th, 2001. When I moved here, I had a 3-month sublet, so I had a place to stay for 3 months. After those 3 months, I moved into a friend's couch that was in the financial district that was literally a half a block from the Twin Towers. Like a friend's sweet apartment, and he was broke, so I got to stay on the couch. On the morning of September 11th, I remember a noise, just like a crushing noise. And I stuck my head out the window like this, and I just remember seeing paper falling. And then my roommate came running out. He turned on the TV, and there was no news. There was like nothing. He was like, "What is that?" And there was nothing. And then like, it came on, and it was the first shot of like the building on fire. This is before like terrorism was all anyone talked about. It wasn't even in my scope of consideration. But I immediately like grabbed my bag, grabbed my video camera, which was this, hold on. Which is literally this video camera. I grabbed it and I ran out the door. I remember walking towards the front door of the apartment and my camera was recording. It turned into something that I can only describe as an unbridled fear and confusion and absolute terror. So what I saw, and I remember this like vivid, I could draw you a picture of where everything was located. It's so vivid in my mind. Was what looked like car parts, and they were clearly airplane parts, scattered along the street, like pieces of parts. And then there were like pieces of along the street.
Well,
and there was a guy there. There was like an EMT or something, and he just had a stack of sheets this high, and he was running around throwing the sheets over that to just cover it. I remember seeing the sheet hitting the ground and then like red coming through the sheet. And I was terrified. Like I was recording with my camera like this, and when that happened, like the camera went down and I was terrified. And I looked up and the building was burning above me, and then I got on my bike and started to ride away. When I got far enough away from the towers to actually like see them, I picked my camera up to film it. And I remember I like zoomed in on this shot of all these firefighters just rushing into the buildings, like them parking their trucks right under the buildings, rushing into those buildings. And that is the most haunting memory of that day, because there's no way any of those guys survived. They're all just rushing in. I biked to my brother's apartment, I grabbed him, and he and I raced to the nearest hospital. We were just like, people are gonna need help, let's go. In the midst of all that chaos, looking down, what is it, 6th Avenue, 7th Avenue? Looking down the avenue, which was my favorite view of the World Trade Center, like this long canyon-esque avenue with these huge, beautiful towers at the end. And I just remember seeing one of the towers fall. And I can only describe it as like, it looked like CGI. It fell, and there was like this long spine, which was side of the tower, just remained, it like fell. And then this just like, poof, turned to powder and it all fell. So that was my day. It's haunted me forever. I always said, like, there's really only 3 times in my entire life where I remember being scared, like truly scared. 2 are when my first kid was born and my second kid was born, because that's a terrifying experience. And the last time I was really genuinely scared was trying to go to sleep on my brother's floor on the night of September 11th. And all you could hear were fighter jets. Wow! They had Humvees and military personnel outside the apartment because you weren't allowed south of 14th Street unless you had ID. And I just didn't know. I didn't, like, the night before I went to bed and I woke up to buildings falling and people dying. And now I'm going to bed again, what's going to happen tomorrow? And that feeling of terror is very real and has never escaped me. Here's some of the footage from that terrible day.
Switch their mind off and go into a blank state.
See, this was when, these are the firemen, like, all rushing in.
I mean, all of that doesn't work because
this is me biking through nearby. These are all people waiting outside. That's the World Trade Center right there burning.
It's about learning to not get so involved in the thoughts and just let them go.
That's 20-year-old Casey, scared out of his mind, riding my bike up the West Side Highway to get away from the towers. And there they are burning. Don't take this the wrong way. I was glad to have been here when it happened. Can't imagine something like that having happened and having to read about it or see it on TV. Being here and knowing what that was like is an experience that I hold great value in. Okay, sorry for having the vlog, this part of the vlog be such a downer for today. I felt compelled to share that. The reason why I was compelled to share that whole story is I have to go to a fitting where they like put clothes on me today at Condé Nast, and their offices are in the new World Trade Center building. World Trade Center. Check out that photo.
And each time I thought I found my Prince Charming. Most people fall in love quite a few times in their lives.
Well, then, how can you tell when you're really in love?
Well,